I thought they'd come up with a really good package, right, on reducing legal migration. Now, actually, I'm not sure whether reducing it is a good idea or not, in truth, but that's another conversation because, you know, you could argue we need people in certain professions, we can't do it here. But they came up with tough measures. I thought 38 grand was a perfectly sensible threshold to qualify you, not only to come and get a job here, but support your family and guess what, pay a bit of tax. But he's rowed back. What's going on there?
It is quite a U-turn. They're insisting it's not a U-turn because we're going to eventually raise it to 38 grand, but we're not going to tell you when that's going to be.
And probably not when the next government's in office, whoever that may be.
Exactly. We'll leave that for Labour to deal with after they presumably get into power. I think what happened here is, you know, the government has been under a lot of backlash with both illegal and legal migration, and they felt the need to get something out to
so they rushed something out
to please people, to change the headlines back in their favour when it seemed like everything was going wrong. And they put out this policy with, it seems like, not much consultation with, for example, the care sector, without doing, you know, lots of forecasting.
I think they kept the care centre out of it. They said that this is excluded by the care people. I think it was, but they wouldn't allow them to bring in their partners, period, because no one in care, sadly, is going to earn 38,000, are they? That's just the reality, unless you're on the management chain.
Okay.
Which is a bit of a distraction, I grant you.
Yeah.
But tell me this.
They feel like I think they've got a lot of backlash as a consequence of rushing this policy out, and you know, it seems people at least think that they haven't consulted people much, and so they've given in to that pressure. And they've brought it back down. I understand it is quite a big jump up to 38 grand, so maybe people feel like that's unreasonable to straight away go to 38 grand.
The average salary in this country, and it's a really bad figure to use because it's the median salary, actually. It's a really bad figure to use because it's so regional variation.
Yeah,
it's 34,000, so I don't think 38 is bad. You know, as a threshold. It's
with what it costs to live now, to support yourself and a partner, I kind of feel like you need to earn that after you take all the you know, all the taxes off. I follow this. I can't remember what it's called, but I've started following this this account on Instagram where they go through every single day and they take a different salary amount and show you what you will get after your tax, after your national insurance, and potentially student loan as well. And it's scary.
It is.
It's scary. If you earn 500 grand. Half of it goes, you end up with about 250 left.
This is
obviously we're not talking about people earning 500 grand, but even on the moderate salaries, after tax, national insurance, to support yourself and a partner on 38 grand, I don't think you have that much disposable income left over.
Don't. And it wouldn't. I mean, there was a time in this country under Gordon Brown, the last Labour government, an MP who was then on about 60 grand a year would have qualified for tax credits if they had a family, which just shows you that we've got a system where people come into this country and people in this country are encouraged to earn a lower amount because the state tops them up. And who's that helping? It's helping big business, which is ludicrous. They should be paying fairer salaries. That's got to be right, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think there is also a concern that businesses are they're choosing people who have come in as immigrants who are willing to work for a lower wage. You know, obviously, we have the minimum wage that kind of stops that from happening. People coming in who are willing to work for £3 an hour. But I think there is still some of that going on. We had yesterday on Jake Berry's show, we had someone who runs a building business calling in saying that all the building companies, they want high migration because they're willing to work for a much lower wage than the British builders who want to be paid fairly. So I think that raising this income threshold up also means that we're not going to have this tension where Brits do, you know, this old saying they're coming to take our jobs.
Right. But what about the public, though? Because
areas.
Look, take a restaurant, easy for people to identify with. If you have low wage people on low wages, the argument goes you won't be paying as much as your food. If we start to pay more, we're going to end up paying more for our food. Now, actually, isn't that right and proper that if you stand on the one hand and say, I want to reduce immigration, I want more people in this country coming off benefits and working, actually the consumers should be prepared to pay for it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it depends what it is. If we're talking about food, is going out for a meal out an essential to life? No, that's a treat. Maybe if it goes up a little bit, maybe you can't go out and eat as often as you want to if you're really struggling. But I mean, you know, you're not going to.
Okay.
I like to try and support businesses that I know are paying people fairly. I like to support local business. I'm willing to pay more for a cupcake from a local bakery than I am
rather than go to a chain.
Yeah, rather than go for a chain, because you know, I'm a small business owner. I understand their costs are a lot higher, and I think we do need to support our community and our businesses.
Well, there's a really good
like
stat
that.
for you to remember when you're on your campaign trail. For every £10 spent in a local independent business, £7 remains in the local economy. For everyone spent with a chain, like a Tesco's or whatever, it's £3.
Oh, really?
So there you go. That's backing local.
Much bigger multiplier effect there.
Yeah, there you go.